looking at you, you feel so weak. But you are stronger than you think. It will happen. You're so amazing, incredible. What's deep inside you, the world should know. Take a deep breath and take it slow. Let it happen. And if you could imagine all the chances you would take, the places you will see and the moves that you'll make. I know it feels so hard right now just to be yourself. Much more fun in costumes pretending to be someone else. Would you believe me if I say you don't have to be afraid? You are more than you realize. You are wonderfully made. I know it feels so hard right now, even when you're young. But I know it will happen, 'cause it's already done. That's a short version of a song that I recently wrote called It's Already Done. I wrote that for my younger self, for young Mariama, who was a good mix of quiet, sometimes very, very loud, artistic, sensitive, intellectual, athletic, a dreamer. Yes. But in some situations, she experienced intense moments of fear of speaking, fear of being seen and heard. So I wrote that for her, to comfort her and let her know that she is okay and she will always be okay. That her voice, her ideas, and her feelings matter. I wanted to make her feel safe and at home within herself, that she could fully express herself wherever she was, wherever she is, wherever I am. One of the most phenomenal voices of our time, the late Dr. Maya Angelou, said, "The ache for home lives in all of us. The safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned." I believe that the journey of finding home within ourselves, creating an inner safety and belonging, is essential for us to open up and to trust our own voices so we can speak with confidence and authenticity. And when I tell people that I had a pretty severe anxiety around speaking, they usually don't believe me because I make a living by using my voice publicly. I've performed in the Broadway national tours of The Lion King. Yes, good times. And The Color Purple. Yes, have y'all seen that? And I speak, teach, and act in various capacities. I am also a singer-songwriter, and I really enjoy coaching students and adult clients to perform and speak with confidence. But growing up and into early adulthood, I really struggled with my communication sometimes. I first realized I had this fear in the 4th grade. I went to Moreland Elementary School in Shaker Heights, a small suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. We had an assignment to give a short lesson to the class on how to do something we were really, really good at. It was called a how-to presentation. Now, when I heard the word presentation, my stomach instantly started hurting, and I wanted to run out of the room. I did. I was afraid I wasn't going to get through it, and I thought I may stutter, which is what I would do sometimes when I was very, very nervous. Now, I didn't have much problem raising my hand, answering questions from my seat. I didn't have any issue there. But to stand and speak formally in front of everybody while all the eyes are on me, kind of like now, I didn't like it back then. So I remember going to my mother and I told her, "I'm really, really, really scared. I'm not going to be able to get through it." She was like, "Oh, sweetie pie, you be fine. Just put on a skit." I said, "Oh, that's a really great idea," because I was always performing around the house. So that's what I did. I wrote a quick script. I got some friends together. Yes, I did. And we had our costumes on. We use our nightgowns for our costumes. I assigned our roles, and we put on my how-to presentation called How to Procrastinate. Yes, I was really good at procrastinating back then. Now, it was really a lesson on the disadvantages of procrastinating. But I got through it, and I had a lot of fun. I was scared. I definitely was scared, but I was more excited to share what I imagined and created. And after that, I was just performing everywhere. Singing, acting, dancing. I played the violin and the piano. I'm a little rusty in a couple of those, so now I am. But performing was my safe, happy place. It was home for me where my imagination can flow. I could take risks. I could harness my creative energy. And it decreased my anxiety around being seen and heard. I could shine. And I haven't stopped performing since. Now, as a teenager, I played various sports. I was the concert master of the orchestra my junior and my senior years. And I was in this really cool dance group, and we used to dance all around the city of Cleveland. My name was Too Cool. Because I was too cool with it. I was just really cool with it. Now that Mariama was very, very outgoing and social. But in contrast, there were distinct moments in school where there was like another Mariama that would shrink and hide. And I stopped raising my hand and speaking up, but only in certain classes. These were the honors and the advanced placement classes that I was in, where I was one of a few Black students in a sea of white students who I just didn't know. Now, some of us have become very good friends over the years, but back then, that transition was very, very difficult for me. Now, Moreland, my elementary school, was a predominantly Black elementary school, and I loved it there. I was home there. All of my friends were there. But they weren't in these classes with me, these particular classes with me anymore after elementary school. We were all separated, and I had separation anxiety, culture shock, and I became very lonely and disconnected, and that feeling stayed with me for a long time. I had the toughest time speaking up in my English classes. Now, I loved the books we read, and I thrived in my writing assignments. I was good at writing, but I dreaded those discussions. Who in here dreads discussions? Yeah, a few of us. Yeah, see, I understand. You understand. I dreaded those discussions. Trying to formulate the racing thoughts in my head to speak clearly and fluidly in this unfamiliar space was very difficult for me. I see myself in my 12th grade English class. It's just me, no costume to hide behind, no memorized script, no song to sing. It's just me in my plain clothes, my cute plain clothes though, trying to find a sense of home. And I'm stuck between the desire to express my ideas and the reasons I came up with to keep those ideas to myself. And in most cases, I kept them to myself. I was silent. Now, I was physically safe. No one was harming me. There were no sneers. There were no microaggressions from any of the students or the teacher. But I did not feel psychologically safe. Dr. Amy Edmondson of Harvard Business School, who coined the term psychological safety, defines it as a belief that it's safe to speak up with ideas, concerns, and mistakes. This sense of confidence that your voice is valued. Now, I knew I had great things to say. I just didn't feel at home enough to say them at the time. I was a young Black teenage girl trying to figure out where I fit and belonged here. So how did I end up here? I got sick and tired of myself. I did. I got so frustrated and exhausted from moving in and out of my own light for so long. So I ended up working with a therapist, a speech therapist, during my sophomore year in college. And it did wonders for my confidence and my self-awareness. It helped me bridge the gap from where I was and where I wanted to be in my life as a confident and authentic communicator anywhere. And I also majored in English at the College of Worcester. Yes. Now, this is my story. But a lot of us have this fear, whether it's in front of a few people or in front of many people. Now, if it's you, if you have this fear, you're not alone. It's very common, and there is nothing wrong with you. There are countless studies that tell us why this fear even exists. It's because we're human. We are hardwired to belong and to survive. So when we are separated or we're put on the spot, it can feel extremely vulnerable and unsafe. And it feels like a physical threat. It feels like a threat. And then we instantly go into survival mode. Our survival instincts kick in. and we want to protect ourselves. So we may become silent, or we may become very aggressive in our communication, distracted with something else, or we just leave the room altogether, fight, flight, or freeze. Now, we need this survival mechanism to try to get out of actual danger or threat, which many of us have had to do in our lives. But it's important to know when we are safe so that we can respond in a way that benefits our well-being and our self-expression. Now, the beauty of being human also is that we are born to thrive. Yes. And this is where we can create this safe space within ourselves to open up and speak freely and have impact on the world, at our jobs or in business, in the classroom, on various stages, at the interview or the audition, within all of our relationships. But it's also important that we speak so we can personally witness our own growth, evolution, and knowledge of who we are. So how do you find home? How do you create this inner safety within yourself? I have a 3-part framework that is highly accessible. It's within you and around you. And it helps you to safely connect with yourself and with the world. First, take a deep breath and take it slow. Everybody breathe with me. In through the nose. And release through the mouth. Doesn't that feel good? Breathe, breathe. Now, as a coach, I'm always emphasizing the breath, making sure you're taking in enough air to project and to get through your phrases, to get to the ends of your lines, but emotionally. Deep breathing as an everyday practice and in moments of high stress and anxiety can be so powerful because it centers us, it's very grounding, keeps us right here in the present moment. We can open our heart to ourselves and have this sense of safety and belonging and wholeness. A lot of times when we're fearful, we start breathing really fast, or we hold our breath, which is what I used to do. So taking slow, deep breaths from the belly or the diaphragm here can stabilize your nervous system, relax the tension that you may feel, and it opens up your voice. There are so many breathing exercises out there that you can do, but what's important is just to know that you can take time every single day at any moment you need for deep breathing. It's so powerful. Number 2. If you could imagine all the chances you will take, imagine, but use your imagination to your advantage. Most of our worry and anxiety comes from our memory, what has happened in the past, or what we imagine may happen in the future. Research tells us that we think between 60,000 and 90,000 thoughts in a day. That's a lot of thoughts. And 90% of those are repeated. So, isn't it amazing that our brains are neuroplastic, shaped by our experiences? So the empowering experiences we allow ourselves to create through the power of our imagination can create new outcomes for us. We have access to this amazing, creative mental playground. Just as my mother gave me the suggestion to think of my presentation in a different way, it immediately sparked my imagination and my creativity, and it opened up my world. Give yourself the permission and the freedom to visualize, create, and lead yourself through the power of your own imagination. There is an African proverb that says, "Let him speak who has seen with his eyes." In your own time, sooner than later, I hope, take moments to just see yourself. See yourself differently. See yourself in the way that you would like to communicate, not the way you don't want to communicate, the way that you desire. And see yourself as the light, free, just the essence of who you are. And write it down. Write it down. Write what you see. Write what you feel. Write how you engage. Write how you breathe. And begin to speak it. Speak it over and over again. And now get it out of your head and get it into your body and start acting it out. I know it may feel a little bit weird, but this is how you are creating a new memory, a new experience, and a new outcome for yourself. And even though those voices of self-doubt and criticism may try to come, it's okay. Just acknowledge them and keep on moving in the direction that you would like to go. This is creating the inner safety, the courage, the excitement, and the belief that wherever you can go, you can communicate in the way you desire. It's already done. Third, seek support. Okay, so I don't have a lyric for this one, but it just means, that just means I'm going to have to write another song. How about that? Seek support. Find people who will encourage you and give you positive, honest, encouraging feedback and accountability. This may be trusted family members or friends, a coach or a mentor, a local Toastmasters group, a presentation class, speech class, or a performance class, or maybe a speech therapist. This is when you can practice, become more comfortable with yourself, with an audience of a few or an audience of many. And the beautiful thing is, you will begin to really understand how connected and valuable you and your ideas and your story and your message are. They are so valuable to the world. As you go into the world and flow through your journey to become a more confident and authentic communicator, know that you belong here and you belong here. Remember to breathe, imagine, and seek support. Be patient and kind to yourself. Take baby steps and take giant steps, and celebrate each one. And release yourself from the pressure of having to sound or be like anybody else but you. You are the best role you will ever play. Your voice matters, your ideas matter, and your feelings matter. And I have a beautiful reflection from a final scene of one of my favorite musical films, The Wiz. As Dorothy is trying to find her way back home, Glinda, the Good Witch of the South, says to her, "Home is a place we must all find, child. It's not just a place where we eat or sleep. Home is knowing. Knowing your mind, knowing your heart, knowing your courage. If we know ourselves, we are always home, anywhere."